talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! It is gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball!
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 13 years, your 2024 Philadelphia Phillies are NL East Division champs. How good does that sound to say? Because first of all, the Braves fans doubted us. The Mets fans doubted us. Everybody since the beginning of this season doubted us. And look what happened. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, the Braves are all injured. I don't care. Don't get injured. Sorry. Just gonna say it. Don't get injured. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But don't get injured next time. What's up, gentlemen? How we feeling?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I've been waiting for this to happen again for years. Kings of the NL East, sitting on the throne atop of the National League East. It literally feels like old times again. Winning National League East, I was 11 the last time it happened. My late dad was alive when the last time it happened. Just very emotional about it right now. The fact of the matter is that the way things are going right now, we're NL East champs. We don't have to participate in that nonsense wild card round. I do not want, and I definitely do not want to go have anything to do with the wild card round this season, and it's looking like that. So it's a whole season having won the NL East and the Braves streak, and on top of that, getting a first round bye, not even having to deal wild card rounds, which, to be honest, there shouldn't even be a wild card round in existence. We should just go straight to the NLDS like old times. And the reason why I was getting emotional is this whole thing of having a bye to the NLDS and not having to deal with playing in a round that didn't exist a couple years back. Just emotional. It's like old times again. It feels like I'm living in early 2010s all over again for some reason. So, yeah, unbelievable. I just got to say, wow.
Sorry, I'm watching all the celebration videos on Twitter. But Gavin, how you feeling, man?
It's really awesome. I mean, I know I'm way younger than y'all, so I know you guys have seen, the World Series, of course, and all of that. But for me, I've seen a lot of Phillies heartbreaks over the past couple of years. I mean, we were not good years ago. We were terrible. We had no future. Our farm system was terrible. We had a terrible roster. We had terrible management. So I remember just like all the tough times with this team. So seeing that they have finally won the NL East is awesome because it's always been the Mets or Braves, and we've always just been under them, and now we're on top. So it's just really cool to see, especially how we clinched it at home. I think that made it even more special, it being at CBP. But yeah, it's crazy. Last time they clinched it, I was 2, So of course I don't remember that, but I was at the game, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm so happy for this team, and I'm so grateful for this season, and it's just been really awesome to watch, especially with the ups and downs. But yeah, this team is special for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. And, it wouldn't have been, we wouldn't have clinched had it not been for Nola's outing tonight. And I know it was a little bit shaky towards the end. I don't think Rob should have kept him in for as long as he did. I think he should have pulled him a little bit sooner. But pitching as a whole kept us in this game. Aaron Nola, looking at his stat line, went 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 3.52 ERA. And then, like I said, everybody else after that was pretty shut down. Strom got the hold, 17th of the season. 1 inning pitched, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, 1.93 ERA. Hoffman, 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1.68 ERA. And then Esteves came in to end the game. 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 2.33 ERA. And so, I mean, I'm not too worried about, and I'm going to knock on wood, I'm not too worried about the bullpen going into the postseason. I think the bullpen has been pretty lights out. I think they're pretty dominant. There's maybe like 1 or 2 guys that really worry me in the bullpen, and I would say that's probably like Tanner Banks or who else am I thinking of? Ruiz. Like Ruiz is good here and there, but sometimes he can get a little bit shaky. I think those are really the only 2 bullpen pitchers that I'm worried about. Starting pitcher wise, though, like that's a whole another story to me. I'm a little bit more worried about that because I think personally, I think Wheeler is fine. I think he's pretty dominant. I mean, granted, last night he was pretty dominant, but we just didn't get him the run support, so hopefully that changes. Nola, he's pretty locked down towards the end of September into the postseason. So, it was pretty evident tonight with how he pitched. So, I'm 50-50 with Nola. It can always go either way. Sanchez, if we're home, we're fine. Like, if Sanchez is going to start at home, you'll be fine because his home stats are pretty dominant. And then the only guy I'm like 100% worried about, and I'm worried about all these guys, but the only guy I think I'm 100% worried about going into the postseason is Ranger. I don't think he's been the same since his back injury. I think it's still lingering, still bothering him. He looks he looks terrible. He looks bad on the mound, and maybe postseason will change that because a lot of guys' demeanors and attitudes change in postseason. But there's a lot of factors that I'm really worried about. Pitching, offensive, just they gotta fix it. They only have like 6 more games to fix it, 5, something like that.
Yeah, this is the last week.
What do you guys think about pitching and like are you guys worried about anything?
I am the guy I'm most worried about, and I'll say it's probably Ranger Suarez. I say, here's what I think the Phillies should do here with the rotation come October. It should be Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez, your top 3 guys. Save Ranger for a possible game 4 for the NLDS if we don't sweep. Say if we did sweep in the NLDS, you save Ranger would probably the rotation probably wouldn't reset. They probably would put Ranger in a game 1 situation, maybe piggyback off another guy. But honestly, I think Sanchez is going to start over Ranger. In my opinion, they could possibly do that. what's the name? I was just reading Dalton's copy. Yeah. Uh, I'll say this: the pitching, for the most part, the pitching doesn't really concern me besides Ranger. Um, if I will say one thing, don't let Kyle Schwarber, don't let our offense get hot in the postseason, or anybody from any other team listening. Don't let the offense get hot come October, because it could be really big problems for other teams. But pitching wise, the bullpen, uh, and I forgot to mention the guy who concerns me the most that they need to not put out in a situation that cost us anything is Taiwan Walker. Oh boy, if they put him out there in a situation and near the end of the game for us to win, that would be the biggest mistake the Phillies could ever make. Putting Taiwan Walker out there pitching. I mean, I wish that dude would. I wish they would just DFA that man before the end of the season. So it's really Ranger and Taiwan Walker are my two biggest concerns. Because here's the thing: you have Taiwan Walker out there. Does Taiwan Walker even make the postseason roster? He may not even make it.
No, he's not. He's gonna go on Twitter and he's gonna throw a big fit again, like
Yeah,
a little
like last year.
crybaby.
So here's my thing: do they try to bring up somebody before the end of the season and put on a postseason roster? Does Cody? I doubt it, because I
Nah.
doubt they put it in. And I wouldn't bring up Michael Mercado. I wouldn't bring up Tyler Phillips. I wouldn't bring up those young guys who would possibly mess it up for us in the postseason. Don't bring up. Let Mercado, let Tyler Phillips, let these guys, these young guys. To be honest, these younger guys who, if they stay in our system next couple of years, those are guys and they learn and grow from big league guys. Let those guys be a couple guys you can possibly use for the bullpen in the future. If
Yeah, I
To be honest,
right.
those guys should be. Those guys might be just pen guys. They may not even be starters. But if we focus on the present now, if we can it'd be nice to keep most of this pen intact if we can for the next couple of years, because I like the pen we have, and honestly, the I the Phillies. To be honest, if we want to turn this team into a baseball dynasty, if we want to turn into a dynasty for real, the Phillies need to keep this bullpen intact for at least a few years if we want to have a dynasty. I know I'm talking dynasty already. We got to win one championship first. I'm talking dynasty, but um, if the Phillies want to be a dynasty, like win two championships in 3 seasons, they got to keep this pennant. They got to keep the pen intact long term. And I know we're talking about the present now. I had to just mention that for all the fans out there. So the keyword dynasty. If we want to keep this team intact, the special group, which is definitely a key to us being a successful team, and that's why this. If we focus on present now, that's why this year the Phillies were a successful team: pitching, hitting, coaching, uh, the whole
I don't
development.
know about coaching. I got my
But
gripes with
but
coaching.
one guy, but
I
one
got my
guy,
gripes with coaching.
I gotta give it. The one guy I gotta give it to, one or two guys in this organizations that have um have had criticism or two, and many criticisms by the past. That's the president, John Middleton. I mean, how can you not love that guy? To be honest, he's the man. That dude's the man of the people. Um, he's a good president of the team and the GM too. Even though he's got criticism a few times by fans for making a few stupid moves. Dave Dombrowski. Uh, is a great GM. He's one of the best GMs we've had since Pat Gillick, and I'll just say that.
I
So
got my gripes with Dave too.
Yeah, shit.
Nah, so I'm gonna put it this way, and I don't want to knock anything you said because I agree full heartedly with a lot of what you said. I I guess the only things that kind of shake me off is I don't know if the coaches are really all that great. Like I have my gripes with like Kevin Long, and just the way that he goes about things sometimes. I just don't, the offense goes dead, and I'm just like, what does he work on with some of these guys? Like Nick Castellanos, for example, and we've talked about it a couple of times on the show, but it's like Nick Castellanos comes up to the plate with a chance to score some runs, and he's swinging at like sliders way outside. Last night against the Mets, like these guys could have taken a bunch of walks. You probably, honestly, if you just stood there at the plate, you probably could have loaded the bases and drove in a run to tie the game. And, they're swinging at BS. And that scares me. It does, being this close to the postseason. Now, I'm not going to say that that's going to happen, knock on wood. I hope it doesn't happen. But I will say this. I personally... I think the week off is going to help the Phillies. And the only reason I say that is I've talked to a lot of fellow Phillies fans these past couple of days. And it seems like we're all in agreement on one thing, is that the issue with the last two seasons is we all feel like they took their foot off the gas towards the end. Like, they didn't have a break. They didn't have a rest. They were going fast. They were going hard. It was back-to-back games, so on and so forth. I feel like with this week, them not, if they get the bye, them not having to play in the wild card is going to be huge, because they're not going to waste energy. They're not going to waste arms with pitching, bullpen arms, so on and so forth. Now, this could all be just me blowing smoke, but I do think that week bye is going to be huge. But Gavin, I know you kind of been in the background the past couple minutes.
Nah,
what do you think, Gavin?
My concerns would be, of course, Ranger. Ever since, like you said, the back injury, he's been off, so he would be a concern. Bullpen, I'm not too really concerned about. I mean, Kerkering, maybe here and there, just because he hits a lot of guys. But I'm not too concerned about him. And I agree with what James said about the rotation and stuff. Except I would flip Sanchez and Nola, so I would do Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, because if we do get the first round bye, we would get home field. So the first two games we would have, and statistically, Sanchez is better at home than away. So I would, have Wheeler and Sanchez at home. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of concerns, except I guess Ranger, because I hope he's right, because if he's not, then that's going to be scary. But yeah, I agree with what most of you guys said.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, going forward. But I I think tomorrow, and it's gonna suck because they really need to win these games. They really do. And I'm pretty sure, even if we get first seed or we get second seed, I'm pretty sure either way you still get home field advantage with either one of those seeds. Now, obviously, it's better to have the first seed. It looks better. But even with the second seed, you'll still get home field advantage. I think I'm going to put it this way. I get that with us being, one of the best teams in the MLB, we should be able to beat anybody, knock on wood. That's just bottom line. You should be able to beat anybody. I am still scared for a couple teams. I'm scared personally for the Mets. They've just been really hot. So, Mets fans, if you're watching this, kudos to you. I'm scared for the Diamondbacks.
Avoid Arizona by all costs.
They just, we all know how that ended last year. But I will say this: the Phillies thrive on they thrive on anger. They thrive on hate. They thrive on being pissed off. And if they're pissed off from last season, now is the time to show it, especially in the postseason. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to be pissed off. I think, honestly, if, let's say, Arizona does have to come into the bank to play us at the bank, I think it's going to be a couple hours of hell for them. Knock on wood.
Oh yeah, the fans are going to be screaming at them.
They're going to be
warming up. Yeah,
they're going to be relentless. It's going to be like how we yell at like Strider when he comes in to play at CBP. Granted, he hasn't played this season, but I don't see this team backing down to anyone, and I hope that's the case. I really hope so. But we'll see. We'll see. And if we do, Friday, I know you're on that train. If we do play the Dodgers in the NLCS, I think we beat them. I really do.
Dodgers choke every year. Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think that they are postseason ready. I don't think that a lot of their offense likes to hit off of our pitchers. I don't. Yeah, I think we're gonna make it to the World Series.
Didn't we sweep them, the Dodgers, 2 times?
We swept them
once and won the series the other?
Yeah, we swept them once and then won the series in LA. So
it's just we can't let Ohtani. I know I said Dodgers or Phillies before the season started in NLCS, but not like I said, knock on wood. Hopefully I'm wrong, and knock on wood. If we don't let if Ohtani struggles versus us, then it hurts the Dodgers big time. If a lot of our other guys don't step up huge. If Ohtani struggles, then we can beat the Dodgers. If he struggles, he doesn't play like the MVP self like he has. And with our pitching being good for the most part, I mean, we could shut down. We've shut down Ohtani this year.
Shout out Mastrom.
Yeah, and looking at the present, looking at now, with us winning the NL East and all, we could set our sights towards the bye, and we could set our sights to focusing on how the rest of the National League's going to play out. But it is going to be interesting because the Mets and the Braves begin a series tomorrow, and the Mets have a 2-game lead over Atlanta right now, and I think was it Arizona has the last seed, the 6th seed right now, right, guys?
they have the 6th seed or something.
Yeah,
I think they have the 6th, but I think Atlanta's going to be out for blood this upcoming season.
Yeah, Atlanta's going to be hungry. They're definitely going to be hungry.
But here's my thing. So if Atlanta misses the playoffs, it's a kind of a good thing because, but then again, with Atlanta being so banged up, if they make the playoffs and we have to face them in the DS, say if we somehow faced them, and they made a run in the NLCS, maybe we could beat them. But I doubt Atlanta's going to make it that far this year. The Phillies are going to it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out in the rest of the season. Hopefully we, and I'm knock on wood, just like you say, Shard. I'm tired of talking about and I know 2008 all was great. I'm tired of talking about the last World Series we won was 2008. 2008 this, 2008 that. I'm not focused. 2008. Think about it. 2008 World Series was all great in that, but we think about it. Saying we won in 2008 is almost like saying the Cowboys won in 1996. So, if you think about it, knock on wood, we want if we want to win this year, so we can't keep saying every single year that our last championship was 2008 because I think that's getting old after a while, guys. And
I wasn't even born yet.
But yeah, I think you agree with me, sure. It's getting old saying 2008 over and over again. So, I mean,
yeah,
you old heads.
But
hey, I'm only 25, so last time the Phillies clinched, I was 12. So I mean, I vaguely remember it.
Yeah,
but
I was 2.
I will say this, and we'll start wrapping up here because I don't have much else to really say. I'll say this. First of all, I get that there's 2 games I think we have to win to get first round bye. I wouldn't expect to win tomorrow. And, we all know why I wouldn't expect to win tomorrow, because those boys are celebrating in the clubhouse right now. It is going to be a hangover game tomorrow. I expect Stubbs to catch. They don't even know who's pitching yet tomorrow, so it's going to be a full bullpen game. So
Tyler Walker.
I'm probably.
Are you sure?
Actually,
Are you sure? Are you sure not? Are you sure we're not going to need to call up a catcher just for one game tomorrow? Because Stubbs,
you're gonna put in Stubbs, or I can see them like randomly calling up a catcher for like a game just to catch.
There is one really, really good catcher in the minors, and we know him. Just saying.
So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. And then the second thing is that I'm surprised they played it in full on NBC Sports Philadelphia. But like John Middleton said, and he said it, in spring training, he wants his fucking trophy back. So let's go get it. But
talk about the Fightins, baby. The Fightins, we're back.
Yeah, so I mean that's really all I have. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is one of the biggest shows that we've had all season. I'm looking at the live stats, and there's 75 of you watching right now. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, that's one of our biggest shows we've had so far this season. And we just hope that it keeps getting bigger as we go into the postseason and, further. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Phillies win 6-2 against the Cubs. I would do my pitching breakdown, but literally unless they just posted it, we have no idea who's pitched yet. It still says TBD. So we have no idea who's pitching tomorrow. Wednesday will be Christopher Sanchez against Javier Assad. So that should be a good pitching matchup. For the Cubs tomorrow, it's Justin Steele. He's a left-handed pitcher, 5-5 on the season, 3.03 ERA, 132 strikeouts. And then, like I said, for us, it's TBD. I could see it being Colby Allard. I could see it being Taijuan Walker, just because tomorrow's going to be a piss game anyway. Because
maybe
they're all going to be hungover. They're in the clubhouse partying right now. So I don't think they're gonna win tomorrow. Looking at standings right now, Dodgers are half a game ahead. Do they play tonight, or are they off today?
They're off.
Off.
Okay, so they play the Padres tomorrow, which
Padres are hungry.
Yeah, Padres are hungry because aren't they like one game out of a wild card spot or something like that?
No, I think they lead the wild card, but I'm pretty sure they want to make sure they have that clinched.
So they're not even clinched yet. Yeah. And the Diamondbacks are right behind them. So yeah. So we'll see. I do think we'll get the 1 seed, but yeah, we'll see. So Phillies win. Thank you guys for tuning in again. One of the biggest shows we've had this season. So appreciate all of you. Friday, appreciate you being here and filling in the past couple weeks on the season. Gavin, appreciate you coming in. For those of you that want to follow Gavin, it's G Sweeney. I always get this wrong. G Sweeney 13, right?
18, close enough.
G Sweeney 18 on Twitter. Gavin posts injury reports. He posts injury reports for Phillies, Eagles, Flyers. He posts roster updates. He posts lineups. He posts everything sports related. He does his own in-depth analysis through articles and stuff like that for his local paper. So definitely check out his stuff. It's really interesting to watch. and read. He gives some really good takes on that. So again, Phillies win 6-2. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. So again, don't I'm not expecting a win tomorrow, and that's perfectly okay. They deserve an off day. So honestly, if I'm Rob, just throw the game tomorrow. Just put in a bunch of bench guys and just throw it. But
Weston Wilson maybe tomorrow too.
But yeah, so we'll be back here tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Everybody have a good night. Enjoy the win, and we're out of here. Roll the outro.
The Vikings!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! It is gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
It is